All right, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back on the Backup channel. So, I want to do a little bit of research before we go deeper and dissect the pigeon. Social media narcissism. I want to jump right into this because I noticed a link, narcissist and social media. It seems to like make it worse. So I'll put the link of the channel. Is this a good I don't know, 13 or 6. This one I want to do the 13 one. Let's do the brainy dose. I'll subscribe to them and I'll put the link in the chat. All right, 13. Narcissistic and social media. 13. Let's go watch this one real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do some research.
Brainy Dose presents 13 Narcissistic Manipulation Tactics You Need to Know. Manipulative relationships are abusive and incredibly damaging. It can even be the most traumatic experience a person will ever have. More often than not, victims of this type of abuse are blind to the manipulation. They rarely suspect that the people who should love them the most are using tactics of psychological control. Instead of providing happiness and bolstering success, these loved ones become obstacles to achievement. So, how are we supposed to cope with these kinds of relationships? The hard truth is that changing a narcissist's behavior is almost impossible. Usually, the best option is to walk away. But when that person is a parent, relative, spouse, or another significant figure to you, it makes having a narcissist in your life even more difficult. When you can identify their manipulation tactics, you enable yourself to respond positively, outsmarting them and protecting yourself from harm. Here are 13 strategies that narcissists use to manipulate you. Number 1. Enmeshment. Narcissists have no trouble crossing boundaries, and this disregard can evolve into a form of manipulation. Enmeshment is a term that refers to relationships where personal boundaries are unclear. Without respect for another person's individuality and specific needs, manipulators will say or do whatever they want, toward you, in front of you, or behind your back. Protesting or calling on morality won't make a difference. Sometimes this process is covert, and damage increases over time until it's too late. Enmeshment deters you from speaking up about your emotions, getting support from others, and establishing healthy boundaries. It makes it difficult to effect positive changes for yourself and those you care about. Number 2. Deflection, diversion, and evasion. Narcissists use this tactic to get out of answering direct questions and avoid being caught in lies. They may deflect by transferring the conversation onto you, divert by steering the topic towards something else, or evade by responding with something unrelated, vague, or meaningless. The narcissist's goal is to confuse and redirect attention. This way, they don't have to take responsibility for their behavior. Number 3. Amplification. Narcissists like to amplify failure and push success aside when it comes to their relationships. You'll see your achievements go unnoticed and uncelebrated, while your shortcomings and mistakes are highlighted with painful detail. The end goal is to belittle you, so that the narcissist can assume the center of attention. When you're drained of energy and full of doubt, finding success will be more challenging. Number 4. Emotional barriers. Narcissists will use your emotions against you. When you feel upset about something they've done, instead of focusing on their behavior, they rather focus on your negative emotions. They'll demean you when you object to their poor treatment, and they might even attack you for your positive emotions. This manipulation tactic will cause you to suppress your emotions over time. It allows the narcissist to escape blame and maintain control. Number 5. Shaming. Most manipulators know that they can turn the pain of shame into a weapon. That's why they love humiliation. Frequent insults that highlight disgust, contempt, or disappointment are favorites within their arsenal, and they prefer to pull them out in front of an audience. The goal is to produce feelings of worthlessness and inadequacy, which subdue you into submission. If you fall prey to this tactic, you may become trapped in a vicious cycle of negative thought patterns and feelings. Number 6. Infantilize. This is another common manipulation tactic. Narcissists will disregard your emotional or psychological maturity by emphasizing your lack of knowledge or experience in life. By reducing you to the status of a child in both your mind and theirs,
That's what she acts. I'm gonna play it again and I'm gonna break it down.
they lower your rank in the social hierarchy and strip you of your ability to make decisions. This allows the manipulator to retain full control. Number 7, rationalization. When a narcissist can't evade their behavior, they will rationalize it. Their justifications and excuses are often full of false reasons or fraudulent perspectives. Despite the fact that these rationalizations are full of lies, others will often believe them and see their side as understandable or even acceptable, especially when these lies are spread behind your back. The manipulator will likely change their story based on who they're talking to as well. The end goal is to escape ridicule. The narcissist wants you off their case so they can pursue their behavior with entitlement. They want you to feel dumb, inexperienced, or like you just don't understand them. Number 8, triangulation. If you become the victim of triangulation, the manipulator will purposely fail to communicate with you while turning other members of your group against you. This form of bullying can take many forms, depending on the situation, but it almost always includes gaslighting or some covert element that pits you against others. You might not even be fully aware of what's going on. The goal is to divide and conquer. Once you're isolated from your support system, the manipulator can assume control. Number 10, covert aggressive abuse. Narcissists love to disguise their abuse. They will frame insults as helpful advice, useful lessons, or potential solutions. You might be led to believe that the manipulator sincerely wants to help you. The advice may be followed by criticism or disappointment from the narcissists themselves or their henchmen who believe you're inferior. This manipulation tactic is meant to belittle and demean. The narcissist can control you while covering up their toxic tracks. Number 11, set up for failure. Narcissists enjoy seeing their victims in stressful situations. They derive pleasure from orchestrating these circumstances. That's why they set up their victims for certain failure. Then, that failure is used to discredit and blame the object of their manipulation. This manipulation tactic is often done covertly through sabotage or by undermining an achievable objective. Narcissists may be projecting their internal feelings of inadequacy onto their victims when they do this. Number 12, vilification. This tactic will make you appear defensive while redirecting blame away from the narcissist. This happens when the manipulator falsely accuses you of being the abuser as a response to you addressing their behavior or your needs and boundaries. You might recognize this as gaslighting. In the end, you will question your position and your emotions. The goal of vilification is to build your self-resentment and guilt, putting you in the wrong before you realize what's really going on. Number 13, playing the victim. Even though narcissists make victims of others, they love playing the victim. They will excuse their behavior or garner attention by claiming their suffering is the result of circumstance or another person. You can recognize this tactic when they say they had no other option, or if they complain all the time. They might also say that the person they're manipulating is actually the one manipulating them.
That's the one
Narcissists do this because even though narcissists make victims of others, they love playing the victim. They will excuse their behavior or garner attention by claiming their suffering is the result of circumstance or another person. You can recognize this tactic when they say they had no other option, or if they complain all the time. They might also say that the person they are manipulating is actually the one manipulating them. Narcissists do this because they want to get pity, sympathy, or compassion from others. It helps them escape blame while gaining support from more unsuspecting victims. Overall, a narcissist's goal is to control. These manipulation tactics degrade victims' sense of autonomy, erode identity, and diminish social standing. Once weakened, the manipulator can easily dominate their victims. Although these behaviors signal antisocial traits that indicate personality disorders, almost everyone displays some of these behaviors at one time or another. The key to recognizing an unhealthy relationship with a manipulative person is identifying patterns. Because many of these tactics are covert, it may take years to see the insidious patterns of abuse. especially if you have a history of abuse or are an overly forgiving person. However, when you know these strategies and can name them, it will be more difficult for a narcissist to use them on you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends so we can keep making them.
All right, shut up. We're gonna play that one again, but I want to check out another one. Now we're gonna mix it up with some social media. Let me see. Let me watch another one. Yo, what's up, Shake Sam? I'm gonna do a pigeon video later on tonight. If you didn't watch my video last night on my main channel, I'm gonna do another one today. The pigeon went live today, so I want to learn a little bit more about narcissism, the right terms. You know, how she vilifies. She loves playing the victim. So I've been taking notes as we watch that video. I appreciate you guys want to join me as I take notes and learn something. Maybe if you want to learn, I figure let's just learn together, right? Let's learn together, ladies and gentlemen. So let's watch some more narcissism video, and then I'm going to do a special on my main channel on the pigeon. All right. Legal Latino D.M.D. I don't know, it sounds cool, right? D.M.D. Speaking of D.M.D., everybody say it with me. Legal Latino D.M.D. And how do you spot a narcissist?
On social media, what comes to mind first? If you're like a lot of people, you probably think of that Instagram model who has about 20,000 selfies. But a recent study has cast some doubt on that widely held belief that people who post a lot of selfies are narcissists in real life. This study, published in Psychology of Popular Media, found that people who post a lot of selfies are as likely to have highly narcissistic traits as they are to not have narcissistic traits at all. So how do we identify a narcissist on social media if not for selfies? And why would we even want to do such a thing in the first place? That's what we're going to cover in today's video. So subscribing, because I see somebody posting someone with highly narcissistic and toxic traits is likely to be abusive. And the reason why we might want to identify these people on social media is because oftentimes the people who are on social media, the people we follow, and the people who follow us are likely to make their way into our inner circle. And at the very least, their posts and their updates are making their way into your life. So you want to make sure that that influence is a good one. Now, of course, as we go through this list, these ways to spot a narcissist online are not ways to diagnose narcissism. So if someone is guilty of doing one of these things, especially just once, or if somebody has a feature that's associated with narcissism, it doesn't mean they're a narcissist. And please do keep that in mind. But on this list, I'm talking about some toxic traits, some ways that we gaslight each other on social media, and some things that we really, really need to examine. So if you find that you have been guilty of any of these things, it might be worth some self-reflection. Again, it doesn't mean that you're hands down a narcissist, but if you can't self-reflect, then that is cause for concern. So let's get to the 7 ways to spot a narcissist on social media. And the first one I think is probably the most predictable. It's probably the one you were expecting to hear. The first way to identify a narcissist on social media is to look for someone who is never wrong. We all know
here we
someone
go.
like
Pigeon.
this, don't we?
That's Pigeon,
Probably
never
more than
wrong.
one person.
Pigeon
Now,
is never wrong.
It's never fun to admit when you're wrong. Absolutely
wrong.
never. No one likes it. But when someone absolutely cannot admit when they're wrong, it's a sign that they're probably going to be a toxic influence in your life.
Toxic
because this
influence.
is a person who also is not going to take responsibility for their actions.
Yep.
This person is going to be an authority on everything, and they're going to try to influence you to think the way that they do. Now, the second way that you can tell if you've encountered a narcissist on social media is that they're going to discredit people and arguments based on very, very minor details. What I'm talking about is this very toxic behavior where someone will introduce a shadow of a doubt to completely discredit a person or a thing.
Yep.
And now there are tons of examples I can give you of things that are very politically charged. And I'm choosing to stay away from that because I don't want to invite gaslighting and toxic behavior into the comments. So I'm going to give you a more benign example. So let's say I post that.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling good right now.
Health.
Let me pause this real quick. Man, I'm doing research right now. I said, let me go live right now. So you guys, if you want to watch some videos with me, it'd be pretty cool. I'm going to switch over to another platform. I'm going to be doing research on another platform that actually pays me to what I'm doing right now. And I will let you guys know on my morning show tomorrow. So that's just a teaser to get you guys to watch me my morning show tomorrow. So check me out tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll be going live Monday to Fridays. I'll be going live more often now. I'm going to be starting creating more content, and I'm going to put it on the other platforms, and I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on my morning show. But this is the reason you guys see me doing videos every day. I've been live on L Bar for about 48 hours already since Friday, and I've just been brainstorming content. And the Pigeon has been going crazy over the weekend, which has enabled me to create more content. So shout out to the Pigeon for being crazy this weekend, and now I could do some content. Cyberbullying, yeah, cyberbullying is wrong. But you also got to call out the bullies, right? Religion, they say, oh, you get smacked and you turn the cheek. You can do that. You can walk away. You have options. But when the person just keeps slapping and slapping different people all around and creating a toxic environment, you got to call that out, right? You can't let that cancer grow. So this Pigeon is becoming a cancer. Will Johnson will be having Oscar L. Blue later on tonight to interview him. Apparently, I hope that was Will Johnson in the chat yesterday. So this Pigeon has been bullying people, and I'm like, this is narcissism. We're watching these videos right now, and you see the Pigeon attacking people, physically attacking people, and we got to call this out. But me, Legal Latino D.M.D. Well, actually, what's the one with the PH? I don't know. I like the way D.M.D. sounds. What's up, Lou and Petty? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. So we're gonna keep learning about narcissism, ladies and gentlemen.
Then I am eating organic. And somebody comes along and feels the need to educate me on the fact that there's corruption in this world. And there's a chance that that USDA sticker that's on my apple was obtained illegally, that it was bought, that somebody was bribed to put it there. Now, can I prove that that didn't happen? No. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, anything is really possible. There is corruption in this world. But someone who's comfortable doing this is probably also comfortable gaslighting people in their personal life, because this is a tactic that gets you to question everything. And if you have somebody doing this to you constantly, if you have somebody in your personal life doing this to you, you're probably going to face analysis paralysis constantly. Because when it comes down to it, this devil's advocate position can be applied to virtually anything. And if you start applying it to all your decisions, you're not going to be able to make any decisions anymore. And going back to the first way that you can tell somebody's a narcissist online, they're never wrong. The people who use this tactic will not use it on themselves. They will not accept any devil's advocate position on something that they feel strongly about or something that they're pushing. They will only use it to discredit an alternate position. They will only use it to tell you that you're wrong for thinking or feeling the way that you're feeling. And that brings me to the next way to tell that you've encountered a narcissist online. It's that they're very comfortable telling people how to think and feel. Now, we all have opinions, right? And sometimes...
Yep, that's the Pigeon right there, forcing her opinions on others. The gaslighting, forcing the opinions on others.
Feel.
This is what she does the most, forcing. I guess she thinks because she has millions of followers, by her talking on her Facebooks, it makes, everything is gonna be okay.
Now, we all have opinions, right? And sometimes we might be guilty of giving our opinion when nobody asks us for it, or it's really unnecessary. But what I'm talking about here are people who try to force their opinions on other people. These people will get into those arguments that never end.
Yep.
Those back and forth arguments until they feel thoroughly satisfied that they have convinced you to think or feel exactly the way they do. So another thing that narcissists like to do online is discredit somebody's opinion based on their opinion, or what seems to be their opinion, on an adjacent issue, something that's only really loosely related. And this is so common that there's basically a template for it online. This person claims to care about XYZ, but they're silent when it comes to ABC. Now, sure, the two names, they've got a couple of things in common. They're both letters, for one, and they're both sets of three. They've got a loose connection, but they're different letters. And why do you get to decide that I have to care about XYZ just because I care about ABC? And even if that seems like an obvious connection to you, why do you get to decide that I don't care about XYZ just because I didn't speak about it? This is gaslighting at its finest. And unfortunately, it is so incredibly common online. And if you've been guilty of this, please do reconsider. Think about the nature of this post and the spirit of this post before you post it. Because this one is so common, I think that some people just get caught up and they end up using that mentality, because that's kind of what social media does to us, especially these days, especially when everything is so.
All right, I'm gonna move on to this one.
Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about narcissists and social media. I get asked about this all the time, so I thought we could address it on the show today. Social media is huge. Most people use it in some way. People have friendships online, they meet partners online, they work online or create communities there. It is firmly entrenched in our culture and in our lives. Because of this, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to run into narcissists online, or that the narcissist in your life uses social media platforms. Narcissists, in many ways, love social media. It's a great source of supply because it's a way for them to live their fantasy life. They can pretend to be anybody they want on social media with no repercussions at all.
There you
They
go.
never have to show anything bad that's happening. Their followers never have to hear the other side of them to live their fantasy life. They can pretend to be anybody
They can pretend to be anybody they want
on social media with no repercussions at all. They never have to show anything bad that's happening. Their followers never have to hear the other side of the story. A social media following is truly a captive audience for the narcissist to exploit, and many of them will. Even the ones that don't actively exploit people are generally using and manipulating them for their own reasons. Now, everybody has different sides of themselves that they show in different situations. You're probably a little different at home than you are at work, and it's doubtful that most people share things on social media that make them look like a bad person. However, most people are not experiencing a huge disconnect from who they really are versus who they pretend to be, either on social media or in general. Narcissists generally are. Many times who they pretend to be online is very, very different from who they actually are. Predators pretend to be victims. Racists pretend to be culturally sensitive. People who perpetrate domestic violence pretend to be outraged by abuse. It really is the Twilight Zone in a lot of ways. And most of the time, they're doing this for validation. It sounds stupid, but likes on social.
Yep. Pretends she does. So that's the word validation. Goes on social media, blah, 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 blabbing for validation. That was the word of validation. It's like, if I say this story on social media, it's validated. It's validation.
Social media are a tangible demonstration of validation from other people. They like this. That means they like me. It means I'm doing something right and I'm a worthwhile person. I'm important because they pressed the like button. Narcissistic people are often very concerned with the amount of likes, reactions, shares, and whatever else they're getting, to the point that they might even have emotional reactions about that. They might become depressed if their follower list becomes smaller or something gets less likes than something else or things like that. In contrast, they might feel over the moon if something gets a large amount of likes or shares. This is indicative of somebody who's placing a high emotional value on these things, and that they believe these things mean something more than they actually do. That's because, as silly as it sounds, these things are a direct line of supply for a narcissistic person. They equal validation and attention, which equal narcissistic supply. Remember, pathologically narcissistic people cannot create, regulate, or sustain their own self-worth. They use this so-called supply from others instead. Generic comments from strangers can provoke very emotional reactions from narcissists, and they may become absurdly emotionally attached to people that they barely know because of that. They often believe that people are waiting with bated breath for their next move, or that they and their...
Right there, you saw that? I'm going to go back. I'm going to slow this lady down. She's kind of fast. You heard that right there, folks.
Generic comments from strangers can provoke very emotional reactions from narcissists, and they may become absurdly emotionally attached to people that they barely know because of that. They often believe that people are waiting with bated breath for their next move, or that they and their posts are much more important than they really are. Another reason narcissistic people love social media is because many times the people on there don't know them. They're not privy to the narcissist's life. They have no idea of what the truth would be in any given situation. This makes them almost perfect sources of supply because they don't know any better. The narcissistic person can tell them anything and they're not going to challenge it because they have no reason to. This creates a perfect environment for smear campaigns and for setting themselves up to be a victim. They can pretend to be anything they want, and others will buy into it because they have no reason not to do so, at least not yet. You might find that the narcissist in your life seems to value their social media followers over you, or that they spend an inordinate amount of time indulging in the fantasy of social media rather than interacting with the real people in their lives. They may try to create triangulation with the people on. They have no reason not to.
There you go. You see? It's that virtual reality life right there.
Privy to the narcissist's life. They have no idea of what the truth would be in any given situation. This makes them almost perfect sources of supply because they don't know any better. The narcissistic person can tell them anything and they're not going to challenge it because they have no reason to. This creates a perfect environment for smear campaigns and for setting themselves up to be a victim. They can pretend to be anything they want, and others will buy into it because they have no reason not to do so, at least not yet. You might find that the narcissist in your life seems to value their social media followers over you, or that they spend an inordinate amount of time indulging in the fantasy of social media rather than interacting with the real people in their lives. They may try to create triangulation with the people online by saying those people are better than you, or they may use them as an audience to smear you. In some ways, it's possible they actually do value those people over you because those people are strangers. Strangers don't know anything about someone other than what they're told. This is the ideal situation for a pathologically narcissistic person.
There you go right there. Listen, Glory B, I don't think you know what I do. I do funny stuff on the internet. If you will watch my show, DMD is a wrestler. So you don't get that I put doctor, I just put DMD there. DMD could stand for anything. Ah, fucking people, man. You know, people like Glory B is like ruins parties, just come in. Right now we're studying. We're learning about narcissism. You're over here spewing stuff. I'm this, I'm that. Nobody asked. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. Go. We're researching. We're in the library right now. We're learning about narcissism. You're talking about other things that we're not talking about right now. Hey, what does D.M.D stand for? What's that degree you have? Listen, if you're not here to learn about narcissism, there's other videos you can go watch on YouTube. You do not have to be here. You have the freedom of choice to be anywhere else. If you don't like what's being portrayed on this channel, go somewhere else. That's it. Go somewhere else. Nobody's forcing you to be here. What does D.M.D stand for? What does D.M.D stand for? So go to church. If you're a Christian, you should be in church. Go open a Bible and go read your Bible right now.
There's no history here, which means there's no bad history and therefore no shame or negativity. You can't be that perfect because you know the things that the narcissist has done. You were there. You are a reminder that the narcissist is not perfect. That makes you painful and unpleasant to be around, especially compared to these other people. These other people are blank slates. Now, it might sound odd that someone could value superficial connections online over a marriage or family ties, but it's not really that uncommon among
Anybody
narcissists.
with a wrench on this channel?
Many of them don't.
Fuck out of here. You're gone. Get the hell out of here. You know, I hate threats or ultimatums and like just go away, man. Like just go away.
Don't seem to recognize a difference in the depth between these relationships, and that's possibly because for them there isn't one. It's not about the depth of the emotion or the length of the relationship. It's about the quality of the supply, and the supply that comes from strangers is better quality than that which comes from people who know them, because the people who know them don't buy into the scam. They know that the narcissist is not who they say they are. To put it very simply, pathologically narcissistic people would rather be around people who don't know them or what they've done, because those people are a lot easier to fool. And the people who know them.
So narcissists like to be around strangers because they're easier to fool. They don't know who they are.
Don't buy into the scam. They know that the narcissist is not who they say they are. To put it very simply, pathologically narcissistic people would rather be around people who don't know them or what they've done, because those people are a lot easier to fool. In the fantasy land of social media, the narcissistic person can truly buy into their own BS because other people are buying into it too. That's what makes them say they are. To put it very simply, pathologically narcissistic people would rather be around people who don't know them or what they've done, because those people are a lot easier to fool. In the fantasy land of social media, the narcissistic person can truly buy into their own BS because other people are buying into it too. That's what makes it so attractive. As far as social media in general, many people have put forth the idea that social media creates narcissism. While that might be a stretch, it is true that narcissistic behavior is very common on the internet in general. For example, it should be no surprise to anyone that studies have found that internet trolls score very high in narcissistic and psychopathic traits. However, is that because they actually possess these traits, or because the anonymity of the internet cultivates this kind of behavior? In the broader sense, the anonymity of social media platforms does encourage narcissistic behavior, not just because of the so-called selfie culture or virtue.
Anonymity. That's why she has like a bunch of pages. And be whoever they are. Man, so how the hell do you battle a narcissist? You kind of gotta like become one. It's kind of scary.
Virtue signaling or because of validation through likes, but because interaction online dehumanizes people. Social media takes the humanity out of interaction so that it's just words on a screen. It's far easier to abuse, mistreat, or harass people in that situation. Certainly, it's much easier than if they were standing in front of you, and that's for people who are not already narcissists in the first place. If someone, such as a narcissist, for example, already objectifies people, removing the actual humanity of the person completely by connecting through a screen only makes the dehumanization that much worse, because not only is it easy to put it out of their mind, but now any actual consequences have been removed from the equation as well. No one will know what they've done or what they've said. There will be no consequences. They can harass, torture, abuse, mistreat, and more to their heart's content, secure in the idea that no one will know, nothing will happen to them as a result, and secure in the feeling that they are the only real person in the conversation anyway. It's a very scary thing. In order to beware of narcissists online, use the same boundaries and tools that you are developing in real life. Look for the red flags. Does someone overreact to small things? Do they seem too needy? Are they too controlling? Do they tell fantastical stories that you just don't believe? Are they constantly the victim? Do they seem too good to be true? Do they misunderstand or misconstrue things a lot? Do they say future faking type of things like, oh, it'll be better when we're together. It'll be different when we're together. Do they refuse to answer basic questions? Stuff like that. And even if they do none of these things, please remember that while a lot of great relationships bloom online, it is very easy to hide things. And most importantly, there's absolutely no way to know what someone is really like until you are around them in person. There is no substitute for that. I hope this clears a few things up for you. Do they misunderstand? It's a very scary thing. In order to beware of narcissists online, use the same boundaries and tools that you are developing in real life. Look for the red flags. Does someone overreact to small things? Do they seem too needy? Are they too controlling? Do they tell fantastical stories that you just don't believe? Are they constantly the victim? Do they seem too good to be true? Do they misunderstand or misconstrue things a lot? Do they say future faking type of things like, oh, it'll be better when we're together. It'll be different when we're together. Do they refuse to answer basic questions? Stuff like that. And even if they do none of these things, please remember that while a lot of great relationships bloom online, it is very easy to hide things. And most importantly, there's absolutely no way to know what someone is really like until you are around them in person. There is no substitute for that. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your
All right, that's one. Let's go to the next narcissist. Actually, let's go social media narcissism. So this is social media narcissism right here. I want to see it in person. Damn you, BTS, man. I'm tired of these people. Go! And here I am singing it.
Hey, you know what's better than a $5,000 PC? What? A $5,000 PC that costs $0. It's time to give you...
I'm tired of this commercial.
Look at this. Imagine asking your boyfriend to take a photo of you pretending to give a shit when in reality you just want to post a photo of your ass in yoga pants because you were feeling yourself that day. Like, what I want to know is, where is the police brutality when you actually need it? Then you got this halfwit over here pretending she's actually fixing up the neighborhood. Imagine going up to someone and asking to hold their drill for a photo. Hi, excuse me, I'm not helping, so is it okay if I just pretend that I'm working with you so it looks like I'm helping?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ugh, and that phony thank you. Just listen to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's the delivery and tone of someone who mimics what she thinks actual decent human beings sound like. What is this, some sort of performance activism? Yeah, go ahead, get in your car, drive away, start writing up your little inspirational caption and continue doing nothing, you fucking zero. Look at this one. The girl thinks she's at a fucking fashion show. This ain't a runway, dopey. It's the fucking street. I mean, what do you think this is? Coachella? This ain't something you pick a dress out for. It's a civil rights march, you dolt. And then you got these two. Yeah, let's wake up, get a picture with one of the activists, roll up our little poster, post it online, go home and pretend we did something. You should be able to just dump a jar of jelly on these people when you see them so everyone can identify them as the jelly spine frauds that they are as they walk home through the crowd in shame. Then you look to your right and you got two fruitcakes jumping for joy. Yeah, they're so fucking happy, right? Like they just do this organically without a camera wherever they go. Why don't you just go jump for joy on one of those tanks over there so they can fire you both into the ocean? Post that online. I'm sure you get a lot of likes for that one. Unbelievable. Look at this. Here we got a girl playing pretend. Yep, another one of these performance activists. Hey, white people. I don't know if you know this, but your real friends don't need to see you raising a fist in front of a black backdrop to know you're against racial injustice in America. You know what they would appreciate, though? You actually being a genuine human being. What do you think, con woman? Could you pull that one off? Look at her making him take another one. She's like, take one more. It doesn't look real enough. The guy's like, no, this has to stop. But I have to prove I'm not racist. He's like, this is going to backfire on you. I'm telling you. Then he just gives in. He's like, this is ridiculous. I just don't understand why you can't just post your black square and list all the ways you're privileged on Facebook like everyone else is doing. Why can't you express your white guilt like a normal person? Here, you happy now? Oh, you're still happy. Okay, now I just need to Google the right inspirational quote and we're good to go. What a couple of fucking frauds. Look at her. Like a new species of deer standing in the middle of the street.
Let's just see how long this.
Are you on Snapchat?
Excuse me.
Are you on Instagram?
The influencer deer, oblivious to the world. How do you not know a car is sitting right in front of you? Even deer look at the headlights.
Sorry. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Then we got Luke from 2 Live Crew making a comeback in the parking lot. Yeah, we're so influenced right now. I love how he looks around to see if anyone saw him. Don't worry, pal. The neighborhood was so influenced by your convulsions, everyone threw on a pair of gloves and started throwing paint at their clothes and installed a ski rack on their car so they could be cool just like you. Why do they always air themselves out when they do this, too?
Ooh.
If that camera wasn't around, you'd think this girl was about to take a leak on the tree. And what is that noise their friends make behind the camera?
Yeah, they're.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a goat having an orgasm. What is this shit? I don't think this guy needs a photo, honey. I'm thinking more of an exorcism. Imagine this was 1925. If someone were to rip their shirt off and scream in the middle of the street, they'd be thrown in a van and taken to a psychiatric ward to receive help. But today in 2020, he's just influencing. Instead of receiving help, he receives likes. I guess you could just do anything anymore. Maybe tomorrow I'll just crab walk into the bank and have my buddy film me ripping my pants off. What is happening to us? Look at these two. Imagine taking a photo of a guy doing deadlifts in the middle of a crosswalk, then getting upset when someone crosses the street. Oh, you're influencing. Yeah, the only thing you're influencing is natural selection. Why don't you stay there a little longer? Let it do its job.
Wow.
God, they're everywhere.
Like really trying to get sponsored by them.
How about you really try to live a life without seeking validation? Yeah, then you got this one. Thinks the world is an amusement park. There you go. That's how you got to treat these people. Just push them to the side. Yeah, let's take selfies with wild bears now. Why not? Look at her shocked. Who do you think was going to stand up, put its arm around you, and make duck lips for your Snapchat? Nothing like snapping some mid-afternoon child endangerment photos. What's the caption for this one, lady? CPS, take my child. # deadbeat. Then you got this one. Taking a photo with her entire identity. Well, this is the world we live in now, folks. The look at me generation, where everyone finds a way to make everything about themselves and make sure you see it. What a legacy to leave behind.
Love her. She brought a tripod.
Look at this.
I like this guy. Joey B Tunes. Check it out. I'm gonna put the link. Joey B Tunes. Subscribe. Well, he has more of these. I hope so. Let me see. I like this guy. Joey B Tunes. Check him out. Check him out. Joey B Tunes. He has over 500. You guys can find him. He's famous. He doesn't need my help. But he has more. All right. Or part 2. All right. Check this out. Before we go back to some boring lectures, let's go look at some of these again. I kind of want to talk, but he talks. He does the funny part. So, I mean, if there's just like a compilation, I could talk over it. The guy is funny though. I like him. What the hell? Oh, what the hell? She got 2 eggs in her cheeks?
Well, if you've been wondering where Hey Arnold's been, apparently he's trapped in this person's face. If anyone knows her, keep a
Football head.
plunger or a minivac in your car in case you run into her and get him out of there. Good Lord. Wait till you see this.
What is she doing?
They call it a selfie-induced coma. Yeah, you don't see this a lot. This is what happens after you've taken your millionth selfie.
She's
Apparently,
doing-
when you reach a certain threshold, your brain shuts off and starts snapping pictures on autopilot. For all we know, this could have gone well into the night. What's going on in this room?
You're gonna break the lamp. The fuck is this? What?
This must be the circle jerk wing of the house.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh,
Yo. This must be the male version
these
of
homosexuals,
yes.
man.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like some
Yes.
sort of influencer mating call. That's what normal people need. We need to start identifying each other like they do so we can outbreed them and save the planet. There's not a moment that's lived without documenting it for the internet. It's like walking around with a camera drone flying next to you. Why would you want that? Everybody thinks they're Cleopatra all of a sudden. Meanwhile, they're just mimicking what luscious Linda does every weeknight at 3 a.m. on the corner of 5th and Broadway. The only
Thank you,
difference is
Luann.
Linda
Appreciate the
follows
coffee.
everyone back.
I'm gonna pause it with that guy. Hey, thank you, Luann. I appreciate the coffee. I just got it. Appreciate it. Thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Wait, why am I down here? Okay. I shouldn't be down here. I gotta be up here.
Wow, great. You did nothing. Any reason you posted this? Hello? Can I help you? I mean, what is...
Whoa. Why do people do that, right? They take pictures, like just appreciate that. Thank you, Lou and Petty. Hey, what's up, Andrew Audio? Thank you, Lou and Petty. Appreciate that. I'm doing my research for the Pigeon. We're gonna dissect the Pigeon. Will Johnson's gonna go live tonight with Oscar. I have to confirm that. But I want to do one special about Pigeon, her narcissism. I wanted sorry, that the other comment before earlier in the day in the video threw me off. So I needed to watch some funny videos and laugh. You know, it's somebody that tried to kill the mood in this channel. We're trying to have fun here, man. You know, people are trying to, you know, forget it. Sorry. I'm trying not to be. Let's just go back to this.
What's the purpose of this? Like, do they mean to post this, or is this an accident? They're not even natural movements.
What? All right. Why are guys now all feminine? Every female now looks like Kim Kardashian wants to look like a doll. They all have like the same breast implants, same makeup, same nose, same lips, same eyes, same hair. Everything's the same. Everything's like coming out of a factory.
Is this an accident? They're not even natural movements. None of this makes any sense. What is this behavior? I mean, there's...
You know, so this is good to watch also, so that way you could check yourself. So if you catch yourself slipping or you catch yourself doing something like this, You're like, you know what? Let me. I don't want to be a narcissist. Let me not do this. Let me not take pictures in the middle of the street. I've done that before. Don't get me wrong. I've done that before 5 years ago. But you grow out of it. You don't do it now. I don't do that now. I used to do it back when, phones were brand new. You could take selfies, Instagram. We all did it. It was cool. But then after a while, it's like, with TikTok,
Zooming in on their eyeballs now.
look at this one. And the car's rolling. So you let the car roll. Oh shit!
What are people even doing with their lives? And
This is my favorite one now. I gotta find this one. Look, pay attention to his leg. Is this 1080p? Come on, this has to be 1080p. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to his leg. So he's doing a music video. What is that girl doing? Oh, it ran him
what
over.
are people even doing with their lives anymore? Has anyone even invented anything the past 5 years? You know, aside from new ways to look like an asshole. Apparently they have influencer classes now. How does that work? Okay, class. Today we're going to teach you how to be full of yourself.
Oh, this is really real influencer classes. Look. And that's a lot of people.
We're going to show you techniques on how to pretend that you're excited about everything you say.
Hey guys, it's Beth here. Hey guys, what's up? It's Lauren.
Hey guys!
What up, everyone? It's your girl, Superwoman.
That's right, folks. The narcissist.
Do I do that? I don't do that, right? Hey guys, Legal Latino here. Hey guys, hey. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Thank you for watching. Wow. Gee. Oh. Hey, thank you for watching. Oh, how do people do that? Hey, everybody. Hey. And then they do the edits. I like doing live stream. I'm real. I know I stutter. I know I can't say certain words. I'm just me, right? What the hell do you want? I'm just me. I'm genuine. What the hell, man? I'm not trying to fake what I'm not. I am what I am. What the hell do you want from me? Hey guys, hey! I'm gonna try that tomorrow morning. Shh. I'm gonna start doing that in the morning. Yeah, I'm gonna. Anybody who's watching this right now is gonna get the joke. Everybody else is probably gonna unsubscribe. Hey guys, good morning. Hey, welcome. Oh, thank you for being a Legal Latino here channel. Hey guys, please like, share, subscribe. Make sure shout out to our sponsors and make sure you hit that like button. Make sure I gotta do it for like 10 minutes, right? Hey guys, before we get the show started, I just wanna, I don't even know what the hell I gotta say. Hey guys, Doctor with Influence. I know somebody that keeps calling themselves an influencer. I am an influencer. Oh yeah, Doctor of Influencers. Doctor of the Influencers. DOI. Can't even troll, man. I know that pigeon that just ruined the mood. Like you could tell a toxic person in the chat. You guys know we have fun in the chat. We like to have fun. I let you guys say whatever the hell you want. I don't censor, but when you're just like being negative and ruining the mood, ruining my mood, ruining the mood of everybody else, people start arguing. Get out of here, man. Just don't do that. Don't ruin parties. Like everybody, we were having a good time. We were laughing. Then comes this whatever it was, and you could tell, like Super Spurg just said. We're just doing research here. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying it. I don't know. These comments are just popping up on my screen. I don't know why they just pop up on my screen. I'm not saying anything. Hey, guys, let's get back to the videos. Hey guys, I'm back. Hey guys, let's go back to the videos.
Pandemic is getting
Lauren.
Hey guys.
excited about everything you say.
Hey guys, it's Beth here. Hey guys, what's up? It's Lauren.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, it's legal here.
Hey guys, it's Beth here. Hey guys, what's up? It's
Hey guys, what's up? All right, one more time.
Everything you say.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, legal here. What no? Hey guys, what's up? Legal here.
It's Beth here. Hey guys, what's up? It's Lauren.
Hey guys.
What up, everyone? It's your girl, Superwoman.
That's right.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Legal Latino, man. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. What's up?
Right, folks. The narcissist pandemic is getting worse. Never has so many uninteresting people been so motivated and empowered to capture their mediocrity. Sadly, the virus has spread worldwide
What the hell is this?
with no signs of slowing down. Sure, let's stop traffic while we're at it, too. I mean, is civilization supposed to just come to a halt so you can pretend you're Mary Poppins? Oh, now we're blocking subway doors, too? Should we all wait till you're done?
This pisses me off, man. These are the kind of people that they're the ones that they're the ones that need to be pushed onto the train tracks, man. Holding up the train for this. What's wrong with her?
Done doing nothing so the train can leave? See, now you got Casey Jones yelling at you. Hit the road, floozy. I mean, look, you guys are stopping traffic, wrecking hotel rooms.
Oh!
The mail is coming late all the time. Casey Jones yelling at you. Hit the road, floozy. I mean, look, you guys are stopping traffic, wrecking hotel.
What is she holding on to? How does this break?
Hotel
Oh, that's the door. She's hanging on to the door. Yo.
rooms. The mail is coming late all the time. You guys are really becoming a burden, you know that? Come on, we're doing this now. I mean, what do these girls think their boyfriends are? Production assistants? Just never enough with these people. You'd think this would be something that only 12-year-olds would do. But no, we're living in a time where there's no difference between a child, a teenager, and an adult. I mean, why do they always do this in the grocery store out of all places? I mean, is that like the new stage, a choice for disgraced children to show off their parents' failures? I don't get it.
Excuse me, ma'am. We won't be having any of that in the store. I'll have my manager escort you out.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Not again.
That's right. You tell her, Eugene. Get the f out of the store. This one's got some sort of problem. Why is she throwing up like a cat? Then you got this guy. Somehow found a way to stuff a bike seat in his mouth. I'm sure he'd give David Blaine a run for his money. Oh, look, a teepee. Ah, damn it. You just couldn't go 1 minute without being the center of attention, could you? What is the point of what you're doing right now? Do you even know? Can I just look at the damn teepee? Yeah, I know. It's the teepee. You interrupted this to direct my attention to where my attention already was.
Okay, selfie ready? Go.
Good. At least someone's
Yeah.
fighting back.
Poor dog, though. He's probably gonna. Check out Joey B Tunes, man. I like that channel. I'm gonna watch more of it. I like that channel. Let me see. There's another manipulation one. Oh, let me see. Can I have one where I could probably talk over it?
Influencers out in the wild. We got to make a new. I mean, honestly, the footage just speaks for itself, doesn't it? At this point.
So I guess they just drive around and you find it. This video's taking so long. I guess you drive around LA and you find that kind of stuff. Narcissists are online predators. All right, let me go with this lady, and then yeah, she's gonna be the best one. BTS again.
Hey, you know what's better than a $5,000 PC?
What? A $5
PC that
PC?
costs $0. It's time to give you free stuff.
In a wide variety of ways. Well, we're about to start a new series that really takes on the relationship between social media and narcissism. This is the first episode in this series, and basically, social media changed the game on narcissism completely. And it was really only while researching this series, I'm like, wow, it really did.
Yeah.
So welcome to this new series on social media and narcissism. Social media, at least in my opinion, shifted the awareness on narcissism in a very, very new way. And social media is really the narcissistic person's playground, their weapon, their drug, and it really becomes a lens to understand the phenomenon of narcissism like no other. This brief series will, over time, take on the intersection of social media and narcissism, with my goal being that I want to help you understand how all of this may be affecting you. So
yes,
I want
it
this
is.
first video to almost be like a history lesson. What's fascinating about the place I've been in with this is that I'm old enough to have been studying narcissism since before there was ever social media. And it's interesting, as I was preparing and thinking about this video, I recognize there's moments you remember your entire life. And this moment was somewhere around 2007, 2008. I don't actually remember the date, but I remember it was at night. A friend of mine reached out and said, hey, have you ever heard of this thing called Facebook? And I'd actually never heard of it. I remember the friend sending me the message. It was late at night. Everyone was asleep. And I had like this quiet moment. I'm like, okay, let me go to this Facebook thing that this person is telling me about. And again, I had a rare quiet moment. I opened it up. I logged in and I spent about 30 minutes poking around. It allowed me to find out what happened to people from my high school. I was sort of happy to see what happened to the means by which people, remember, it was back in like 2007. But it was sort of strange because I noticed these people were sharing on a daily basis and people would like it, right? For a narcissistic person to get validation, it was work. And they would get validation from much smaller audiences. A narcissistic person would actually kind of have to get cleaned up and leave the house. And it was actually the day, and I remember it so well, it was the day that I realized that the narcissists, when this was all done, were going to win. Now, until the advent of social media, remember, Facebook began in 2004. MySpace, if any of you remember that began in 2003. Remember back in the day, old days, before 2003, for a narcissistic person to get validation, it was work. And they would get validation from much smaller audiences. A narcissistic person would actually kind of have to get cleaned up and leave the house and find real human beings. So narcissistic attention seeking was largely limited to the workplace, social gatherings, family gatherings, that kind of thing. And while one could argue on another note, if we talked about reality TV, for example, television shows like Candid Camera, which actually began in the 1940s, ask your parents about it, they were sort of early reality TV. The reality TV that we recognize today had its origins in the early 2000s, and shows like The Real World on MTV debuted in the 1990s. Certainly that double storm of reality TV, that idea that anyone can be temporarily famous if they behave badly enough, along with the other storm of social media, anyone could get attention anytime. It took this backwater clinical phenomenon called narcissism that anyone in the know knew was toxic, but it wasn't mainstream. And it kicked narcissism up into one of the most important issues of our time. Now, before social media and reality TV, the narcissists were just lashing out at smaller groups of people and getting smaller scale validation. It was more of the grandiose, posturing, arrogance, entitlement, unempathic, difficult to get along with manipulative types that were out there. A great example of one of these sort of circa 1960s narcissists would be someone like the character Don Draper in Mad Men, right? Or there were those sullen, victimized narcissists out there too, but they had no audience. Those folks would just rage at their families, partners, and coworkers. Narcissistic folks might pick up something we used to call a movie star magazine, because those were once a thing, and I bet they would wonder what it would be like to be a famous person. But for all of us mere mortals, becoming famous did not at all seem accessible to anyone. So these people would just perform their narcissistic antics at their friend's party or in smaller places. When I think back to my years growing up as a child and into adolescence, my experience of difficult and narcissistic people was more people who had lacked empathy, who were very abrupt or cold or had a critical, judgmental quality about them, or were very sensitive to any kind of feedback or criticism. But it really wasn't as pathologically attention seeking as we see it now. Now,
attention
again, in the
seeking.
early 2000s, when social media came on the scene, that was it. The genie was out of the bottle, never to be put back in. If someone could have literally sat in a lab and created the perfect tool for narcissistic people to sit somewhere and get the validation and supply they needed, validation and supply for everything for buying their groceries to making dinner to a new dress to a competitive posturing for having the best vacation, the best night out, the best kids, the best partner, the best life, that tool would have been social media. Early on, it became a curiosity. Like that's how a lot of people used it in the early 2000s. It was, like I said, honestly, people were finding out what happened to people they went to high school with, or people who grew up on their street, or a long lost family member. People were using it for things like sharing family photos. But in the blink of an eye, we entered a universe of influencers and population-wide manipulation, and frankly, a population-wide development of people developing their false selves that people believed were better than their real selves. And social media also created a universe where a lot of people were walking around the world all the time wondering if they were missing out on something better or if they were even good enough. And in that way, social media almost became like a narcissist. Social media left people feeling like they were not good enough. They were gaslighted, manipulated, full of self-doubt, full of confusion. Anyone on social media was basically in a narcissistically abusive relationship with social media. For people who had any kind of fragility around their sense of self, their self-worth, or their identity, social media was really a perilous and is a perilous space. And social media started having and continues to have the same negative impact on people as narcissistic relationships do. And the narcissistic people, they own this space. Narcissistic people are better at maintaining their false self because they live in their false self. Social media became a home for them, a sort of mothership to make it appear as though they were actually living the grandiose fantasy lives that up till then they were only living in their heads. They would talk about their aspirations as though they were actually happening, snapping a selfie like, woke up this morning and thinking about starting my own multinational company, click. But people would buy it as though they actually were running a multinational company. People were going on vacation solely to get images for Instagram. They were going to the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall or the Great Pyramids or whatever beach or ocean is the beach of the moment to take a picture and show the world how great their lives are, rather than to do anything as absurd as actually taking the engineering of the Eiffel Tower or the scale of the Great Wall or the joy of being at the beach. An entire world was now going places to have their ass facing the place they came to see so they could get the selfie. The false self means that many narcissistic folks live in two realities: the reality that induces envy in other people, and the reality that they actually live in, which is never is going to be as good. And as such, the narcissistic people in the age of social media live in a chronic, constant state of quiet rage, wanting their actual lives to be as good as the lives they portray on social media. They created this mess for themselves, and they still blame the world for not delivering on
There
the
you
super
go.
fabulous life
There
they
you
feel
go.
entitled to. And here we are.
That's it.
The genie is out of the bottle. An entire generation has
I want to say that part again.
an entire images for Instagram. They're going to the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall or the Great Pyramids or whatever beach or ocean is the beach of the moment to take a picture and show the world how great their lives are, rather than to do anything as absurd as actually taking the engineering of the Eiffel Tower or the scale of the Great Wall or the joy of being at the beach. An entire world was now going places to have their ass facing the place they came to see so they could get the selfie. The false self means that many narcissistic folks live in two realities: the reality that induces envy in other people, and the reality that they actually live in, which is never is going to be as good. And as such, the narcissistic people in the age of social media live in a chronic, constant state of quiet rage, wanting their actual lives to be as good as the lives they portray on social media. They created this mess for themselves, and they still blame the world for not delivering on the super fabulous life they feel entitled to. And here we are. The genie is out of the bottle. An entire generation has been raised on social media. The minds have been manipulated, and there is no going backwards.
Nope.
When I was in graduate school back in the 1990s, we didn't really learn that much about narcissism. I have to say now, with all the shifts in the world, I believe that it has to be a required course
Yep.
if you are to be a mental health practitioner in the 21st century.
Yep.
And to understand the story of social media is to understand the impacts and damages and harms narcissism, and to some degree social media, are having on our lives, our psyches, and our minds. So hang on to your hats, because this series that'll unfold over the next few weeks and months.
I'm gonna hold on to my hat.
Take on the landscape of social media and narcissism, so you can understand why this is an issue that is affecting so many of us.
That is true.
But interestingly, may not have affected your parents or grandparents' generation.
This is where we're fucked,
ways.
man.
This is a real generational leap. Wasn't a thing in earlier generations. It's interesting. As a 55-year-old woman,
this is depressing, right?
I'm somebody who studied narcissism.
You're right, super
through the kind of that meteor that killed the dinosaurs. Remember, there was dinosaurs and there was a meteor, and then there weren't dinosaurs. There was a world. Then something happened, social media, meteor, whatever it was, and now there's a different world. And interestingly, the narcissists are the species that were able to make it through the meteor and now are evolving more rapidly in the post-meteor social media world. So I really look forward to sharing with you these issues, with my hope in this series that it can help you understand social media and narcissism, but more importantly, be able to protect yourself and navigate the social media spaces where the narcissistic and the antagonistic people out there who often use social media as a battleground and as a weapon. And for that's what it is for them. For many of the rest of us, it may just be a place to share a sweet picture of your cat. But before you do that, you need to recognize that the narcissistic folks out there have turned social media into a very unsafe space. My hope is through these videos to teach you.
Am I subscribed to him? I'm subscribed to him. Damn you, BTS. Let it go.
Hey, you know what's better than a $5,000 PC?
What?
A $5,000 PC that costs $0. It's time to give you...
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and welcome back to this YouTube channel that takes on all kinds of little and big issues related to narcissistic relationships. So some of you are thinking, I've watched so many of your damn videos, lady.
Where are we practicing today, Daddy? Yeah, where are we practicing today?
Oh, we going someplace special today.
These houses are huge. Yes, that one looks like a castle.
In our previous video with Dr. Ramani, we talked.
Said, you want to study tortoises? Work in the Galapagos. You want to study narcissism? Live in Los Angeles.
I mean, it is rampant here.
Yes, it is.
I think so, at least.
Yeah.
Before we get into those 4 types, quick question. In your estimation, what percentage of the population is narcissistic?
Yeah, it's a tough one because
80.
again, it's a trait, right? It's not like a
80%.
disorder where we could actually do an interview or figure it out. It's if I were to hazard a guess, like people who are noticeably
80%.
narcissistic, we're like, whoa, I would put that number probably to 10 to 15%. By no means do I think it's a majority. When you think of your own friends, most of them are sane, good, empathic, kind people. But I do think that at 10 to 15%, that's a lot.
Categories for this. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, if you look at the research, and this is definitely, as I've gone over the years looking at what's been written, I really do think that 4 primary types have emerged. They're sort of our classical grandiose narcissists. That's sort of like the Chanel suit of narcissism. It's the classic representation of the person who's sort of very egotistical, arrogant, attention-seeking, validation-seeking. Look at me, I'm so great. Don't I have a beautiful house? They don't stop to listen to anybody. Again, your garden variety grandiose narcissist, okay? Far more problematic is the malignant narcissist. This is the person who is all the things the grandiose narcissist is, lacking empathy, entitled and grandiose and big and pompous, but they're also really mean. They will do really bad things. They almost feel like they're a little bit psychopathic. They often won't even feel that bad, maybe a little bit guilty, but not really.
What do you mean they do bad things?
They will steal money from a company. They will cheat on their partner.
Oh, like really bad things.
Like really bad things. Yeah, no. I'm
Cheat
not
on
taking
their
like
partner.
saying like take more peppermints than they should from.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
No. I'm talking like big ticket bad. And they'll lie, they cheat, they steal. These are your Bernie Madoff types, like really malignant. They just sort of they make great
Eddie
criminals.
Guerrero.
And again, when we could talk about it at some point, there's a difference between a psychopath and a narcissist. By and large, a narcissist, even a malignant narcissist, will feel a little bad about doing some things, especially feel bad if they've hurt other people in their circle. So if they do bad things, they'll be sorry they hurt their family, but they often won't really care about other victims, that kind of thing. So that's your malignant narcissist. Then there are some other types of narcissism that people don't realize and like, oh, that makes so much more sense. The key one in that one is called covert narcissism. Covert is a word that means secret, really. So a covert narcissist is somebody who is very sort of put upon by the world, but they're still grandiose. So they'll say things like, yeah, like, I'm a really great photographer, but the world never really noticed my greatness. I guess I just came up at the wrong time. And all these cameras you guys use now, it's easy now. But back when I was taking pictures, I could have been one of the great ones.
Is a covert narcissist older?
They can be, but not necessarily.
Okay.
They often feel like life done them wrong. They can be quite passive aggressive. They're that person. They almost feel depressed. And in fact, more than a few of us will initially think the covert narcissist has depression and will treat them for depression. We're like, this is not getting better. And it has been 10 months. Even if they're on meds by now, something should have happened.
So someone who has been classified as a covert narcissist and then treated for depression will not show improvement.
If they're depressed, they'll show some improvement in depression, but they'll still walk around like, woe is me. Why doesn't anyone see how great I am? I do so many great things for the world. And I guess it wasn't my time. And, and they'll be very vulnerable. If somebody said, they're very hypersensitive to criticism. So if somebody says, yeah, those pictures were good, but we're not going to be able to hang them up in our gallery. What? You're and they'll throw a tantrum. They'll become really cold. They'll become distant. No, I'm not coming to your gallery opening. My pictures weren't good enough for you. That's the covert narcissist.
Kind of like the I'm not fired, I quit.
Yes, exactly. They really do feel like the world never got their greatness.
Wow.
That's the covert narcissist.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Los Angeles.
A lot of that. And then that often gets missed as, well, no, they're not even that confident. I'm like, no, listen, they really, it's always like, nobody gets how great I am.
So I know there's a fourth one, but before we go into that, let's dive into that. How would I know, as I'm not a clinical, psychologist, how would I know if my friend or this person needs confidence, needs a boost, or if they're a covert narcissist?
Look at how victim-y they feel. Like how much like, no one gets me, or nobody gets how great I am. It's because it's always in a sense of it's nobody quite gets their excellence. There's sort of an arrogance to them versus a person who really is like, nah, I did not do a good job on this pie. I know I could do better. Let me give it another shot. So there's almost like this sense of efficacy, the word that means like, I'm going to give it a try. I recognize what I did wrong. They often won't take ownership. The covert narcissist will say, I see what my part was in this. I see why it didn't go right. The covert narcissist will blame the world.
They'll very say, clear.
That the world is to blame for why I did not succeed.
All right. What is our fourth type?
The fourth one is a fascinating one. I read an article about this and I was like, rarely do scientific articles get you as excited as I'm running around the university saying, you've got to read this.
Oh my gosh.
It's called the communal narcissist.
Communal.
The communal narcissist is that person, for example, all over their social media feed is like, off to feed the homeless today, but they're like really well made up. Or like, it's dog rescue Thursday. And they're always out there trying to save the world. They go to galas and they go to benefits and they write big checks. As excited as I'm running around the university saying, you've got to read this.
Oh my God.
Did anybody catch this one right here? The communal narcissist. They have to get up in the morning and I have to save the world. Get up in the morning. Anybody in the chat, Lou and anybody in the chat, did you catch that? A communal narcissist. This one is going to be good. Wow. Maybe I should do a whole. I'm taking notes. Like 4 pages of notes already.
It's called the communal narcissist.
Communal.
The communal narcissist is that person, for example, all over their social media feed is like, off to feed the homeless today, but they're like really well made up. Or like, it's dog rescue Thursday. And they're always out there trying to save the world. They go to galas and they go to benefits and they write big checks, but they need a lot of recognition. They need a lot of like, can we name this after you? Can we name that after you? And they walk around saying, look at all the good things I do. Like they'll have a website with them holding like children in impoverished regions of the world. But like, they're always really well put together and they talk about it a lot. Like, look at my greatness. I'm all about giving back. And that's your communal narcissist, because what you will see is a tremendous lack of empathy for the so-called people they're trying to help. And in essence, sometimes even a grandiosity, like I'm above these things I'm rescuing, helping, give me so much recognition. And they seek a lot of validation for all their good works.
Oh, I know people watching right now are going, I know that person. I know that person.
I know that person.
Maybe you are that person. But like, I know that person. I was given some really great advice by somebody out here in Los Angeles. And he said, and it was to a group of people. He said, you need to go volunteer. You need to go do something for somebody and not tell anybody that you did it.
That's it.
Just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Well, I often say do good quietly.
Yeah. Now, did you mention earlier off camera something about stealth narcissism?
Well, the stealth narcissism is almost more of that covert narcissism.
Okay.
Like you don't, and this is where people get confused by it because they'll say, I kind of feel bad for this girl or guy, so I'm sticking it out. I just don't think they have much confidence. I kind of feel bad, but oh my God, every day is woe is me.
So that's the interchangeable.
The thing the covert narcissist will do in a relationship, for example, is like, yeah, it must be nice you got that promotion. Like, I'm happy for you, but I've been working at this for years. It must be a lot easier to get ahead in your job.
Wow. Really fascinating. Okay. Now, in our other video, when we were talking about how to spot the signs of a narcissist, you really use the pronouns he, his, him a lot. Okay. Are men more likely to be narcissists than women?
They are.
So why is
I
that?
mean, the statistics have always been very clear on that. It's much more prevalent in men. If I were to take all the narcissists in the world, my guess would be 80-20. That's changing. That's changing. Sad to say, this is one of those times women are going to break this glass ceiling, and they're catching
The
up.
narcissist glass ceiling.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely more men, and part of that is socialization. Men, even as boys, are not taught to talk about their emotions as much, to not be as tuned into that. Empathy, compassion, vulnerability. These things are not valued in boys and they're not valued in men. And those are often the core of character. And so we tell boys, ignore those feelings, toughen up. And so that toughen upness can turn into things like a lack of empathy. And so men are also very measured on their achievements, being a provider, making lots of money, having a big title.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Breaking news could happen within 30 to an hour. So this message came in 5 minutes ago. Be alert. Important breaking news coming up on the news. You have been covered of the congressional candidate harassing Mexican press. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I might be going live on my main channel. We get breaking news. Oscar, share, whatever. I know Will Johnson's going to probably interview Oscar. So I just want to cover this stuff, have it documented if anybody wants to use it for reference. That's the whole reason I'm doing these videos, the OD tripping series. Some people doesn't know what's going on, and it's kind of hard to explain it to people. So I try to put it together. I try to put it on a good show that could explain the situation that's going on. Some people are like saying, why is this important? Why? This is a long history that's been going on for a long, long time. 4 or 5 years now with different numerous people. And this individual makes things worse and worse and worse. And instead of making things better, she makes things worse. And now I'm understanding of a narcissist, the lack of empathy. You know, they say that they're the best. They need this validation all the time. Nobody else could do what they're doing. Nobody else could be successful. Nobody else can make money. Only them. They're the best. They're rescuing the world. This communal narcissist that's running for Congress in the 33rd group, allegedly communal narcissist. All right, let's go back to the doctor. Man, this is a good lady. I'm starting to enjoy this lady.
Having a big house. And so those kinds of drives, which are definitely pushed more for men, more valued in men, those again are very superficial drives. And so as a result, they're going to be more manifested in men, which again can make that greater vulnerability to being more narcissistic. We just tolerate it more. If a woman behaves in a narcissistic way, she's often checked early in the game. Whereas if a boy or a man behaves that way, he's not called out.
Would you even say maybe they're applauded?
Oh, not only are they applauded, there are CEOs, there are world leaders, they are our celebrities, they are our athletes, they are our music stars. You better believe it. In fact, if I wrote a book on narcissism, it becomes a how-to guide for how to achieve in the New World Order.
That is a huge, huge statement.
Yeah, and it's true.
And it's true.
It's true.
Wow.
Yeah,
if you wrote a book about narcissism, it would be the how-to guide on how to succeed in the New World Order.
Yes, in business and in wealth accumulation, yes. In your interpersonal life, absolutely not.
Yeah, I want to talk very quickly about the mental health implications of leaning into that narcissism for success. What does that do to somebody's internal mental health?
I don't think you can fake narcissism. I think you can fake it for a minute. I often talked about, in fact, in my second book, I did talk about this concept of acquired narcissism or acquired entitlement. And by that, I meant if you're incredibly wealthy, you're very used to the world running on your schedule. You have a team of assistants, people picking you up in cars. You don't wait in lines. The world really works smoothly for you, if you will. What can happen is then when they go back to normal life, like they're with their friends or people from their past, they may have that very kind of like quick, entitled, do this, do that. And then someone will say, slow down, sister. I am not your assistant. And they'll often be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And they'll be genuinely ashen at that. So I do think that they're not narcissistic per se. They're just sort of used to running through the world in that way. But if they said, oh no, you will do what I said, I am that important, then they're probably narcissistic.
Got it.
So that idea of faking narcissism to get ahead, I don't think most of us can do it. I'll even give you a personal example. I remember way when I finished college, I tried to get into a job in the financial services sector at Wall Street, kind of a company. I bombed, forget the first date, the first hour. I'm like, oh, all you guys want to do is make money. They're like, yeah. I'm like, no, that doesn't. What about their feelings? They're like, we don't talk about that here. So literally, I got the job. It was 9:05 a.m. I realized I'd made a mistake. By noon, I realized they were like, all right, we're just going to keep you around doing some clerical work. And I started using their computers to apply for a job in psychology. I mean, I could not sell water in the desert. I'm like, let me give you my water. You're thirsty. It's hot, honey. Like, that's me, which is why I'm me and not a CEO. Never would be. I don't have what it takes. Most of us don't.
Well, you did find exactly what you were supposed to do.
What I do, but it doesn't, again, it doesn't pay well. You choose your place in the world, but unfortunately, we do live in a very materialistic and consumerist society. And as long as that's the case, narcissism is going to win because it's about putting yourself first and not really caring as much about others.
Yeah.
And so those are the people who are always going to get to the head of the line. And so can some people turn it on and off? Probably not. Like if you're narcissistic, it sort of bleeds into other areas of your life. And people say, well, then how do they even have friends? Some people cut them a lot of slack. I think that the great narcissist get away with murder catchphrases, that's just how he is. And that's why they get away with a lot. Not to mention that they can sometimes be very generous when it's going to get them what they need. So they may buy everyone big dinners and take everyone on big vacations. So it creates this illusion that there's lots of people around them. I'm not so sure those people will be around just on the basis of how they treat them. It's all the stuff they're making possible for them. It's like narcissists often have big beach houses. They're there for the waves, not for his personality.
Well said. Excellent. Always fascinating to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For more information on all things mental health, make sure you go to medcircle.com.
Mental health, ladies and gentlemen. Mental health is important, man. This is. Oh no, we saw this. Look, I'm right here. Social media narcissism. Let's see what mind games these social.
Where are we practicing today, Daddy? Yeah, where are we practicing today?
Oh, we going someplace special today.
These houses are huge.
Oh, this is the one I want. Where's the communal narcissist? This is the one.
Hello and welcome. This is Em from Narcissistic Abuse Rehab, a safe place where survivors in recovery can find awareness, empowerment, and healing. Our topic for today is the narcissist in social media. We're going to discuss the narcissist social media, the new supply social media, the flying monkey social media, and what you can do. Now, I know you have a lot of insight, and I want to hear from you about your experiences with the narcissist social media, so please comment below. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why it's intrinsic to your recovery to not interact with the narcissist social media. I want to thank all of our subscribers and viewers for supporting this channel. We're building this channel for you to help you on your healing journey. So please hit the like button.
You know what? I'm gonna start covering this tough stuff. Because nobody is gonna cover it like I will do it. Yeah, narcissism. It's crazy.
You're gonna see a lot.
We have a narcissist attacking everybody, journalists. They try to attack me because I cover this, attacking everybody, and the narcissists think they're correct. Nobody else is right. They're the only ones that's right. Everybody else is wrong. So this is something very dangerous, and it's going on a lot. There's no enjoying the moment. They gotta make it about them. It's about me. Let me take the selfie. Me. So social media has made this worse. The validation, the fake life they portray on social media. They don't live the life that they portray. Oh, look at me eating this expensive food. Look at me over here. Look at me over there. I used to do that. I was one of those people. Let me show off. when social media was new. But then at the end, you're like, why? Showing off your life for likes, why? And then when I see people still doing it, I'm like, why? I show off my cat on social media with the food that I cook. I don't show up. Look at me. I paid $300 for the steak, which I won't, but why would you? I don't know. It's just people portraying something that they're not on social media. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to go get ready. I'm going to go eat real quick. I'm probably going to go live soon. I'm waiting for the breaking news to go down in maybe half an hour into an hour. Let me see what the breaking news is. Let me go eat. And then I'll be back live, ladies and gentlemen, on my main channel, Legal Latino Heat on YouTube. The channel has been growing, ladies and gentlemen, for the past month. Thank you for everybody helping out. This channel, my main channel has been growing. I was losing subscribers. I was getting a little sad because I'm like, damn, I might have to shut my channel down because I'm losing a lot of subscribers. And all of a sudden, I'm just, getting a lot of support and new subscribers, and I appreciate that. And it's green. Before it was always red. When I log into my YouTube studios, the arrow was always red down, and I'm like, oh, 3 less subscribers, 7 less subscribers. I was like, oh. So that's why I just stick consistently, just making videos every morning, and I'll share with you guys in the morning about what other platforms I'm gonna be at. Hey, what's up, CZ's chat? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys later on today on my main channel. I'll be going live and with some breaking news. We're gonna have some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just waiting for it to come across my desk. I'll be back live with some breaking news on the main channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure I'm live every morning, 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 Eastern. Check me out in the mornings, morning to Friday. The best 90 minutes of edutainment, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. If you don't like it, then don't ever watch me again. But I promise you, you will, because you will enjoy it and you will learn. Take care, everybody.